Hey everybody, welcome to No Bones About Wrestling. I'm your host Asa, and I'm here with Kay Fabulous.
Hey.
And this is your AEW Collision wrap-up show. It was July 15th, 2023, and they were live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, birthplace of Bret the Hitman Hart and the Rocket Owen Hart, in addition to, 50 more Hart siblings. There's a bunch of them. This, of course, was the night that had the finals of the men's and the women's Owen Hart Foundation tournaments. Pretty cool that they held the finals in Calgary. The show starts off with quick promos that they do, these kind of 1 or 2 sentence things. We got quick promos from FTR, and then from Juice Robinson and Jay White, and then from Willow Nightingale, then from Ruby Soho, then from Ricky Starks, and then from CM Punk. And once CM Punk has spoken, now it's time for the show to really start. And then we get the opening with Elton John's Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting.
Can I just say real quick that I love these little mini promos. I think it's such a smart way to start the show off. And then just going right into wrestling after that.
Yeah, I agree. It harkens back to WWF Saturday Night's Main Event.
Oh, really?
And in the 80s on NBC, they used to do that.
Oh, that's cool.
And this is a Saturday night wrestling show, so I'm sure this is a nod to that.
Yeah. Cool.
So it's pretty cool, yeah. So CM Punk and Friends is ready to go. And I love the opening. I know I've said that before, but I love the opening with the Elton John song. It fits and sets the mood for the show very well. And our first match, it's a long one. It is the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. 2 out of 3 falls. The champions FTR defending against half of Bullet Club Gold, Switchblade Jay White, and Juice Robinson. They won the Eliminator match against FTR last week to earn this title shot, and they wanted a 2 out of 3 falls match, and they got it. First, before we start on the match, I want to announce the good news on the show.
Yeah!
And that is, I don't know if this is temporary or permanent. I did not hear what they said, but Ian Riccaboni is the announcer on this episode, replacing Kevin Kelly. And he was so much better than Kevin Kelly.
Yeah, it was delightful.
Yeah, and this, if you listen to our show, this is what we've been saying we wanted to happen.
Yes, it is.
Actually.
Yeah.
We said, ditch Kevin Kelly, get Ian Riccaboni from Ring of Honor to come in there. And that's exactly what Tony Khan did.
And I feel like the commentary finally enhanced the matches.
I agree.
Now that he's there.
I agree.
I mean, Nigel McGuinness does a good job, but he couldn't enhance the matches on his own. But the team together, this episode, I feel like every match they added to.
I feel like the commentators gelled more.
Mm-hmm.
They were a more cohesive team than Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness also.
Well, it felt like they were actually listening to what the other one was saying and responding to it instead of just saying what they were thinking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was more of a conversation.
Well, because Ian Riccaboni has more interesting things to say than Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like Kevin Kelly as an announcer. I never have, and I don't. Yeah, I don't know what people are enjoying about him. I don't like him as an announcer. I think he's got a weak voice, and I think I don't think he has much interesting to say. I don't think he has enough background on the wrestlers, and yeah, I don't think he's a good announcer. He's not terrible. There are worse announcers. Don't get me wrong. He's not terrible, But I don't think he's a good announcer, Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
So,
well, hopefully this is a permanent replacement.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, Kevin Kelly, he can be an announcer somewhere for sure, but AEW is not the place. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Ian Riccaboni, welcome to CM Punk and Friends. Hopefully you're here to stay. So let's get right to the match now. Bullet Club Gold try to take some time to gather themselves. Try and say that. I'm tripping over my words. FTR take a lap around the ring and high-five the crowd to frustrate Bullet Club Gold. Arm drags by White on Dax. Get some headlock takeovers by Cash Wheeler on Juice Robinson. And Juice is on Cash in the corner. The ref is telling him, clean break, Juice, repeatedly. Tells him 4 or 5 times. To which Juice finally replies, shut up, Paul! It's pretty funny.
It was awesome.
Juice wrenches Wheeler's arm. Irish whip, reversed into the corner. Cash Wheeler catches Juice with a backslide for a 2 count. Wheeler runs into Robinson coming off the ropes. Robinson takes his time coming back into the ring. Uppercut and a headbutt by Cash Wheeler. Dax in now. Juice Robinson chops Dax in the corner. Headlock by White. Waistlock by Dax. Dax with a Russian leg sweep and then a backbreaker on Jay White. Abdominal stretch now. Harwood cheats, holding on to the ropes. Juice Robinson takes Cash Wheeler down with some nice-looking punches, really nice-looking punches. Cash Wheeler with several near falls on Juice Robinson, several 2 counts back-to-back. Tag made. Dax goes to get Juice. He chops him. Headlock takeover by Dax on Juice. Irish whip. Juice comes off the ropes, grabs Dax, and throws him into the ring post. Jay White tagged in. Knife edge chops by Jay White on Dax. White DDTs Dax and Cash. Spicoli driver by Jay White onto Harwood. A flatliner by White. A bridging German suplex for a 2 count. Jay White with the Blade Runner on Cash Wheeler. 1, 2, and 3. The first fall registered for Bullet Club Gold. 1 fall to 0. What do you think about the first fall? You have anything to say about it, Kay?
Yeah, I thought it was impressive the amount of time they let the match go before the first fall was successful.
Yeah, about how long was it?
I am terrible at guesstimating time, but since the match went 58 minutes, I would say probably 15 to 20.
Oh, it was longer than
20,
that, I think.
25? I was going to say 30, but that sounded like it was too long.
I was going to say 30 also.
Oh, were you? Oh, okay.
So
I just assumed that I was overestimating, so I undercut myself.
let's say around, it was 25 to 30, I think.
Yeah. Lots of technical and brawling wrestling to start. It was, pretty much through the whole match. Yeah, it was a good mix, yeah. And I enjoyed, Juice had frequent exchanges with Paul, and they were just delightful, Paul being the referee. Not just when he told him to shut up, but then later on in the match, he was, ruling in Bullet Club Gold's favor, and Juice was on the sideline yelling, "Good job, Paul, good job!" Mm-hmm. And I just really enjoy how vocal he is during his matches, which I think I've mentioned before, but...
Yeah, it adds.
It does add to it.
And a lot of wrestlers don't do that, and that's such an easy way to add to your match, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish more wrestlers did it. Face or a heel, it adds to your match.
Well, that's one, I don't need to talk about Trish Adora a lot, but that's one of my things that, made me love her instantly, was how she's, the most vocal person I've ever seen in their matches. She's making sounds when she, does moves. She's talking shit to the people she's wrestling with. Like, she's just vocal through the whole thing, and it just makes you connect with the wrestler so much more, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, start off on Fall 2. Juice with a nice arm drag into an arm bar on Dax. Cash with a lariat on White. White with a back suplex on Cash, then a senton. Robinson covers for 2. White gouges Cash's eyes. And then there's a neck breaker by White. Jay White hits whiplash on Cash Wheeler. Tags in Juice Robinson, who DDTs Cash onto the arena floor. Snap suplex by Juice for a 2 count, and then a foot on the rope. Juice with a senton on Cash again. He goes for another. Cash gets his knees up. Wheeler pins him for 2. White gouges Wheeler's eyes again. Hurricane Runner by Cash Wheeler on Jay White. Dax and Juice tagged in. Dax really takes it to Juice with chops in the corner. Dax clotheslines Jay White. An O'Connor roll by Dax for a 2 count. Dax with German suplexes on Robinson, and then a brain buster. Covers him, gets a 2 count. Dax hits some chops on Jay White. White Irish whips Dax and follows him into the ropes with a knee strike. White and Robinson attempt a spike pile driver on Cash Wheeler, but Juice gets pushed off the top rope by Dax. Dax then climbs the top rope himself. He comes off with a super sunset flip. Wheeler clotheslines White over, so Dax may pin him for the 1, 2, 2.99. Very close one.
Yeah.
Wheeler razor edges White into Dax's neck breaker for another 2.99. And I understand that was a Briscoe's move. I'm not sure if it has a name, but that's what he did. He did a razor's edge, and Dax caught him for a neck breaker. Dax superplexes Jay White. Cash Wheeler comes off for the splash, but White gets his knees up. Juice Robinson comes off with a splash on Dax. Juice then carries White over to cover Dax, 2 count only. FTR get Juice Robinson. They hit him with the Shatter Machine. That's their tag finisher for the 1, 2, 3. We are tied at 1 fall apiece. So the next fall decides the winner and decides the World Tag Team Champions. Jay White head scissors Dax over the barricade, and the doctors come to check on both men. We have a brief pause in the match for that. I think it was just so people could take a rest. I'm not sure. Yeah. That was my assumption, but I'm not sure. I don't think they really needed medical attention.
Well, it's hard because the camera didn't catch their landing. That only caught them going over.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but I assume that was a work and maybe for rest. Yeah. Dax suplexes White on the arena floor. FTR double suplex White. There's a 9 count, and White just makes it back into the ring. Cash Wheeler suplexes Juice over the top rope. Both men go over. That's how much momentum Wheeler had on that suplex. White puts a leg lock on Dax. It was something like an inverted-looking figure 4. I'm not sure what move it was, but it was an interesting-looking leg lock. White slaps a sharpshooter on. Dax reaches the ropes. Dax hits a super back suplex off the top rope on the White. There's a great-looking suplex by White for a 2 count. FTR, then they get Bullet Club Gold in simultaneous sharpshooters. They break them due to exhaustion, we're told. They're too tired to keep to stay in the crouch position for the sharpshooter. Dax, about 30 seconds later, Dax puts Juice Robinson in another sharpshooter, gets him back in the sharpshooter, and Robinson, he taps, and that is it. 2 falls to 1. FTR win, and they retain their titles in a very hard-fought match. Very good match. I give it 5 bones out of 5. Excellent tag team match. Can't get much better. FTR tried to shake hands, showing good sportsmanship. They tried to shake hands with Bullet Club Gold, but Jay White spits in the ring, and Bullet Club Gold just leave. Kay, what do you have to add about this match?
I completely, wholeheartedly agree with your 5-bone rating. I loved it. I think the second fall was my favorite. Did you have a favorite fall?
Let me look back here.
I feel like after the first fall, the crowd finally woke up and was getting. I'm going to talk while you decide on your fall. I feel like the crowd finally got into the match. They were pretty unresponsive for the first part of it. Maybe right before the first fall, they kind of woke up. But between the first and second fall, they were like on their feet, and I think they stayed on their feet for the rest of the match, which was a long time to stand. So good for them.
My favorite fall was the third fall.
The third fall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Had a bunch of high-impact moves. They hit one of the Briscoes' signature moves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. That's the second fall. Okay.
Yeah.
My favorite was the second fall.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They hit one of the Briscoes' moves. They hit the Shatter Machine. They had Wheeler had that clothesline where he and White both go outside of the ring.
Yeah.
They had the German suplexes. A lot of high impact moves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like, too, there were several near falls by FTR during this section. And they were just clearly getting so frustrated. And it was good. It was nice to see them like work through that frustration into a successful pinfall eventually.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So that was my favorite. One thing that I don't think you mentioned, between the second and third fall, like right after the second fall, all 4 men got into the ring and kind of faced off and just sort of stood there glaring at each other while the crowd really showed their appreciation for what they were seeing. That's also kind of how the match started, was with all 4 men in the ring sort of facing off with each other. And I really liked that. And I liked that they harkened back to it before going into the third fall section of the match. But yeah, overall, this match was hot. I loved it. I love technical wrestling. I love grappling. I like both the team's styles. I feel like they meshed really well together. And just all 4 men do an excellent job about emoting with their facial expressions. And so I feel like that really enhanced the match.
I agree. Yeah, just some great wrestling all around. Great brawling, punches. All 4 men have good-looking punches.
Mm-hmm.
Great technical wrestling. I know I've said that already. But yeah, the combination of brawling and technical wrestling was just fantastic in this match. I want to see these guys again. I mean, we've seen them the last 2 weeks, so let it cool off for a little while. But I definitely want to see these guys again.
Yeah.
They may have found their Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express, And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, just Google it. Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express. Or rather, better yet, YouTube it. Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express. But yeah, I honestly, I did not expect FTR to hold on to their belts.
Me either.
I thought White and Robinson were going to win them.
I was fairly confident in thinking that too.
I wasn't that confident, but I did think they were going to win them. Yeah. I was going for White and Robinson, honestly. Yeah, just great.
Yeah, and the match did go 58 minutes, which I feel like is worth noting as a nod to the stamina of all four men in the match. You know, I realize it's a tag match, so they are getting some breaks, but still, dear God, it's a long match.
I'll be interested when the ratings come out to see, did the ratings increase throughout? Like, were people calling their friends? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
were people calling their friends during the match? Like, because one Ian Riccaboni during the match was imploring people, call your buddy and tell him there's an awesome match on. You know,
it's hard though because I think there were 2 wrestling pay-per-views last night. So if you
That's
already
true.
bought the pay-per-view, you're not going to stop watching the pay-per-view to change the channel to go to Collision. You know,
that's true.
So I think that might affect their numbers a little bit more than would otherwise.
Well, only one of them was on. Yeah, Impact had Slammiversary, which
8.
started at 8.
Oh, but yeah, the AAA wasn't until 9:30.
AAA started at 9:30. Yeah,
Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the numbers for sure.
After that, we got a promo for the Blood and Guts match coming up Wednesday. One of my favorite things AEW does. This one is the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. Of course, a feud that has been going for months now. I'm not sure if this is supposed to end it. I think it may. We will see. Yeah. I think the Elite may move on and have a feud with whatever family Don Callis is putting together, you know?
Oh, yeah. That's a good call. Do you think he's going to get more members to this family? Besides Takeshita and possibly Jericho?
That's what I've read.
Yeah.
I mean, right, he has Takeshita, maybe Jericho. Wasn't there someone else? There's someone else he tried to get in AEW.
I don't remember.
He showed up to AAA last night and got kicked out.
Yeah, by Conan.
That was great.
Yeah.
He showed up to AAA and the pay-per-view and was trying to seduce El Hijo del Vikingo. And Conan was like, "Oh, you got a backstage pass. That's great." And he's like, "Get him the hell out of here." And and Don Callis got escorted out by the security and did not come back.
And El Hijo del Vikingo did not look interested.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's refreshing.
And it was also nice to not have Don Callis around as a distraction.
Yeah.
Because that was Omega. If you don't know, last night AAA had a Triple Mania 31 pay-per-view. They were in Tijuana, and El Hijo del Vikingo defended his Mega Championship successfully against Kenny Omega in a 5-bone match. It was just terrific. The show was very fun. It was a wild show. And that was the match of the night, of course. El Hijo del Vikingo is probably my favorite wrestler right now. Kenny Omega is very close, very high up there too, in the top 5 for me. Alright, next we have the AEW Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Women's Final. Ruby Soho of the Outcasts versus Willow Nightingale. And speaking of the Outcasts, they were notable in their absence. Nowhere to be seen. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah. Maybe Ruby just wanted to do it on her own and prove that she could.
Yeah. Like Angels in the Outfield? Where the Angels aren't allowed to help with championships?
Are you asking me about a movie that I saw when I was in, like, elementary school? Because I don't remember that.
Well, let me explain.
No, it's okay.
In Angels in the Outfield,
Yeah.
the Angels can help the Angels throughout the entire regular season. But when the pennant is on the line, the Angels can no longer help the hapless California Angels because they are not allowed to interfere with championships because God says so or some bullshit.
Wait, so they helped them cheat the whole season?
Yeah.
The Angels do?
Yeah. You don't remember that movie?
Not at all.
We gotta watch that.
I remember everyone in the stands waving their arms like they were
Gotta
angels,
watch
but that's all I remember.
that
So wait, no, we're not watching that tonight.
Yes,
but,
we are.
So here's my. Well, no, we can discuss Angels in the Outfield later. We don't need to delve into that. That seems like a not angel-like thing to do, though.
What?
To interfere in all of their baseball games.
No, that's what they do.
No, I understand that's what they do. That does not seem very angelic. To help a team cheat through the entire regular season to make it to the finals. That's
what they do.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Some things are more important than baseball. Okay, like a
wrestling?
little boy finding a family.
And like wrestling. Let's get back to it.
Well, you. So Ruby Soho versus Willow Nightingale here is what we're talking about. Ruby head scissors and a couple arm drags. Her offense gets shut down by Willow. 3 suplexes by Nightingale. She gets a 2 count. Irish whip. Ruby with some knee strikes. Ruby chokes Willow on the ropes. Ruby covers her, gets a 2 count. Back elbow by Soho takes Willow down. Soho kicks Willow down in the corner. Willow fights back, but gets thrown down by her hair. Ruby stomps Willow's hand, then chokes Willow out. Nightingale clotheslines Soho twice. Willow with a stampede gets a 2 count out of it. Soho rolls Willow up for a 2 count. And then a victory roll by Soho for 2. Out of nowhere, Nightingale hits a spine buster on Soho. Takes it into a single leg crab. And then Ruby reaches the ropes to break the hold. Ruby goes to grab a can of spray paint. Willow grabs it from her just in time for referee Aubrey Edwards to see it.
I think Ruby actually put it in her hand and then called the ref.
Oh, did she?
Yeah,
okay.
She put it in her hand and then called for the ref and was like, look what Willow has.
And so referee Aubrey Edwards takes the spray paint can away from Willow, and as her back is turned, Ruby pokes Willow in the eyes and hits her finisher, No Future. She covers Willow. 1, 2, Willow kicks out. Willow grabs Ruby. She hits a sit-out powerbomb for the 1, 2, and the 3 count. And Willow Nightingale wins the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. 3.5 bones out of 5. Good match between these two ladies. Willow Nightingale deserving of the Owen Hart Cup for sure. Kay, what do you have to say about this one?
This is another match where I thought incorrectly about who was going to win. I'm glad that Willow won. I couldn't decide who I was for on this match because I like both women so much. One thing that you left out about the beginning of the match, actually before the match even started, was that we got to hear Ian Riccaboni rap to Willow's entrance.
Yeah.
I was a little worried that they weren't going to let him do it on television. For those of you that don't watch Ring of Honor, for the last, pretty much since her first appearance, actually I think it started with her second appearance, Ian Riccaboni has been rapping Willow's entrances and makes up a different rap every week for her entrance, and so we got to hear one, and I was excited about that. In the beginning of the match, there were some unsuccessful arm drags by Ruby, and I appreciated that they didn't try to sell us on that, like, as soon as the match started. Willow did a lot of flexing and taunting early on, which I found a little surprising since she's the face, but also enjoyable. Willow did her usual one cartwheel that she does per match, except this time it was finally not pointless, only because Ruby hit her hand on it and sold it really well. But the cartwheel finally served a purpose of some kind. And yeah, I enjoyed this match. I wish that Ruby hadn't tried to cheat and we just got a regular straight up match, but I'm glad that the cheating isn't what caused the win.
Mm-hmm. So, Willow Nightingale wins the Owen Hart Cup. She beat Athena in the semifinal to reach, the final, obviously. Is she in line for a Ring of Honor women's title shot?
I think we're going to get Death Before Dishonor. We're going to get
Athena and
Willow.
Well, who knows? It'd be nice if they would book some matches for that show.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, so Ring of Honor has a pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor, coming up in 5 days, and we have one match booked for it.
1.5.
One match booked for it. Katsuyori Shibata defends the Pure Championship against Daniel Garcia.
Does that make you want to buy the pay-per-view?
No.
Yeah.
No. So I don't know what they're doing. They got to get their shit together with the Ring of Honor. I don't know if Tony Khan is spreading himself too thin, or if he just thinks that people aren't going to make the decision to order a pay-per-view until the day of. Maybe that's what he thinks. He doesn't need a card. But even just forget about people making the decision to buy the pay-per-view. Just for the sake of your product and your booking, you need to have matches to build towards. That's why we have the pay-per-view matches in place weeks before the pay-per-view, so that they can be built towards in the storylines. So I don't know. He's got to get his shit together with Ring of Honor. There are a lot of talented performers there. So he needs to take advantage of them and make sure that he has storylines, angles, and matches in place to let Ring of Honor be successful and not fuck it up.
Well, in his defense, he has been having a tournament for, we have a half a match so far for Ring of Honor also for Death Before Dishonor. Because Samoa Joe, who's the television champion, is going to face either Dalton Castle or Shane Taylor. Whoever wins in the final of the tournament match this Thursday.
So in his defense, he has another incomplete match?
He has half a match.
That is not in his defense. That doesn't work.
Well, it's one that he's been building towards through this tournament, is what I'm saying.
They have 1.5 matches.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help.
I'm just trying to help him.
So I don't know whether he needs to, hire someone. Tony, if you need to hire someone, I'm available. You can get at me on Twitter. It's No Bones Wrestling, at No Bones Wrestling with an R. You can get at me in the DMs. We'll talk. I'm available for Ring of Honor. I will book it for you. I got you. Where were we?
We just finished
we just finished talking about Willow Nightingale and I want to go back here and ask something. So FTR retained their World Tag Team titles tonight. So let me ask you. Let me put you on the hot seat.
Okay.
Who's next? Who's next for the World Tag Team title shot?
Whoever wins the tournament. That's the whole point of the tournament.
No, I'm not talking about the blind draw tournament. I'm talking about
like a real team.
A real team.
Hmm. Who do I want to be next, or who do I think will be next?
Who deserves to be next?
I think the Acclaim deserve to be next.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been so hot for so long, and they lost their belts to the fucking Guns, which I like the Guns, but most people don't, and it definitely took the wind out of their sails, and now they've just kind of been floundering around in this world of trio streams, but they haven't had a match against the House of Black, the trios champions, but they're gunning for them, but they've been gunning for them for weeks with no actual forward progress towards them. They've just been doing like jobber matches basically. So I would like to see the Acclaimed have some direction. So maybe getting the tag belts and then going after whoever beats the House of Black for the trios titles would be good. So I'm going to go with the Acclaimed. What about you? Who I would like to see is Lucha Brothers, because I think those would be good matches. But I'm going to go with the Acclaimed. What about you?
I am going to say the same.
Oh,
the Acclaimed. For very much the same reasons, yeah. They're super over. I don't think they need to be the ones to... I mean, the trios matches they've been having with Daddy Ass are fine. I don't think they are going to be or need to be the ones to beat the House of Black in the trios division.
Yeah, me either.
So I say, yeah, let them have a match for the tag belts with FTR. I don't know about winning it back right now from FTR. Although, why the heck not? Plenty of good heel teams, you know. I'd love to see the Acclaimed versus White and Robinson. I'd like to see the Acclaimed versus the Guns again. I mean, the Guns are improving pretty rapidly, I think.
Well, just looking at the growth they've made since they won the belts.
Yeah.
I mean, so much better on the mic, always improving in the ring.
Yeah. So, with the Bullet Club Gold, you know, you got ready-made heel teams there. And hopefully, and I think Bullet Club Gold will grow again relatively soon.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone in mind? Or?
No, I just think they're getting more members.
Okay.
I've not given thought as to whom. I just think they're getting more members soon.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just wanted to know who you thought for the tag team. Because the tag team division we've discussed, the trios division has been given more prominence lately.
Yeah.
And the tag team division has been the quote-unquote real tag teams have been abandoned to do this blind draw tournament.
Yeah, but now that the tournament's winding down, we're seeing more tag matches. Like on Rampage, you had the natural... What is it called?
Naturally Limitless.
Naturally Limitless. I forget who they wrestled, but they wrestled someone on Rampage. So, I mean, we're seeing... Now that the tag team division, or blind tag team, is winding down, we're seeing the regular tag teams showing back up.
Yeah. Hopefully we do see more of the tag teams showing back up.
Matt Menard and Angelo Parker. That was who they wrestled.
Yeah. Right. And beat them. Cool. Okay. So Willow won the Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament. She took the cup, which had a nice selection of roses and some of the flower. Were they all roses?
They were all roses, just two different colors.
She left the pink title belt. Perhaps that was going to be presented later on the Battle of the Belts 7. We've not watched that yet. But I think Martha Hart was going to present that later.
Dr. Martha Hart.
Dr. Martha Hart, yes. Up next, we had a recap of Ricky Starks' path through the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. He, of course, facing CM Punk in the night's main event. And next, we had the Kings of the Black Throne. That, of course, is Malachi Black and Brody King. That's what they're called when they just tag together. 2/3 of the World Trios champions. They were accompanied by Julia Hart, who had Andrade El Idolo's mask with her. And they took on Randy Myers and Artemis Spencer. I didn't like Myers and Spencer's chances here, I tell you.
No, it's not looking hopeful for them.
Black with a cradle for a 2 count. A kick out. Knee bar looked painful. King tagged in. He beals Spencer halfway across the ring. King with a nice bridging German suplex, showing some core strength from him. 2 count only, though. And then the man comes looking for his mask. Andrade El Idolo comes down the ramp. And as I said, Julia Hart has it. Back in the ring, Black hits a black mass on Spencer and pins him for the 1-2-3. And the Kings of the Black Throne win this tag match. This was a squash. I don't rate squash matches. And, Andrade pretty much just stared them down. Did security come and get Andrade?
Andrade tries to go to the ring to get his mask, and it was refs at first that were stopping him, and then security
came. Yeah, that's right. Security came and stopped Andrade from pursuing the House of Black, and I suppose AEW security is on the possession is 9/10 of the law side of things.
Because they're not returning his property to him?
Yeah. Right?
Maybe they only stop physical violence. Other crimes they let slide.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, it seems we're going to have a showdown about this mask at some point.
An awesome showdown, I bet.
We've got All In coming up August 27th.
Oh, yeah. Maybe.
Can we hold out on Andrade versus Malachi Black till then?
I don't know. It's kind of like a weak premise in the first place. Don't you think? The mask? He stole my mask?
No, it's wrestling. That's a classic. He stole my jacket. He stole my mask.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
He broke.
But
he stepped on my cowboy hat. Whatever.
But enough to last that long, though.
Well, we'll see some more stuff. Though we'll see progression to the story.
Okay.
Other things will happen.
Okay.
Between now and then.
I thought you meant it would just be he stole my mask. I have his mask.
I mean, we'll see something else. Yeah.
Then I would be fine with that.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, they're teasing this, and Andrade took on Brody King. Did he win? Do you remember? Who won that match?
I think Andrade won.
Disqualification?
Andrade
Andrade took on Brody King on this show, CM Punk and Friends. He took on Buddy Matthews the week before that. And who won those matches?
Andrade definitely won the one against Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
Andrade won against Brody King by disqualification.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Because Buddy Matthews interfered.
Thank you. But he won the Buddy Matthews one cleanly.
I believe so. I would have to go back and look at my notes, but...
Okay. I think he did. But yeah, so he's beaten Matthews and King. And all that's left is Black. So we'll see if they keep this going. does Andrade get some partners, and we maybe have a World Trios title match at All In?
That'd be cool.
I don't know.
For those of you wondering, Andrade did beat Buddy Matthews cleanly. He tapped out to a figure 8 by Andrade, and then the House of Black came out and attacked Andrade.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now we have some upcoming matches. On Dynamite, we have, of course, Blood and Guts, which, again, one of my favorite things AEW does. Take 2 rings, surround them with a giant steel cage, put 10 guys who don't like each other inside, and let them settle it. I love it. We have Team Blackpool Combat Club. That is Jon Moxley, Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Konosuke Takeshita, and Pac. And Team Elite is Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. What have I written here? Oh, Hangman Adam Page and Kota Ibushi. So that's gonna be a hell of a match. The Blood and Guts. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be something else. Also, Wednesday on Dynamite, we have the finals of the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament for the number 1 contender to FTR's tag belts. We have Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society. They're taking on World Champion MJF and his partner Adam Cole, the masters of the Double Clothesline. And also on Wednesday, Hook puts his undefeated record and his FTW title on the line against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. If I can turn my page here. And coming up Friday is Royal Rampage. And last year, you want to share with us, Kay, what that was last year?
So this is coming from WrestlingHeadlines.com. Last year was the inaugural Royal Rampage Battle Royal. And they hold it after Blood and Guts Dynamite so that they can use the double ring setup. The match features 20 competitors. So this is last year's anyway. It featured 20 competitors, 10 in each ring. 2 wrestlers start out in each ring. Then a new wrestler enters the match every minute, alternating rings until the final 2 wrestlers from each ring go at it. The only way to win is to toss the opponent over the top rope. Last year's winner was current World Trios champion Brody King, and you earn a title. Last year he earned a title match with the then AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. They have not announced whether or not the winner of this battle royal will receive a title shot against the AEW World Champion MJF.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'd forgotten they did that last year.
Me too.
But it's great. Making use of the 2-ring setup, especially, it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
You got it set up. Why not do something else with it? Yeah. All right. The Owen Hart Foundation Men's Tournament Final, our main event of the evening. Absolute Ricky Starks and the star of CM Punk and Friends, CM Punk himself. Trading headlock takeovers to start off with. Punker with a leg lock on Ricky's throat. Ricky breaks it. Starks mimics the go-to-sleep taunt that has got to piss off Punk. Starks Irish whips Punk sternum first into the corner, a la Bret Hart. That's a signature Bret Hart move, getting Irish whipped sternum first into the turnbuckle. CM Punk hits a backbreaker. Starks hits the move where he walks and dances a little on the ropes and comes off with an axe handle shoulder strike. Punk with a snapmare and then a kick to the back of Starks. Punk with a body slam and then a flying fist drop from the middle rope. Punk with another backbreaker. Ricky then taunts the GTS again. Ricky hits a leg drop on the apron. Gets a 2 count. Punk in the corner with a running high knee. He tries it again, but Starks gets his boot up. He covers Punk, 2 count off of that. High knee again by Punk. Short clothesline countered into a tornado DDT. Punk with a lariat gets a 2 count off of that. Both men go for cross-body blocks simultaneously. Both men taken down off of that. Hurt their midsections. They're up. Punk with a pile driver on Starks. He gets a 2 count. Go to sleep taunt for the 3rd time in the match. This time it's Punk taunting it. Punk Irish whips Starks, but Starks turns it around and he spears Punk. Punk rolls out of the ring, comes back in, slaps on a guillotine front face lock. Punk hits a Hurricane Rana. Starks rolls over Punk for 2. Punk rolls it over for a 2 count. Stark rolls the pin back around for a 2. Starks rolls it back over for the 1, the 2. He then grabs onto the ropes beside him. 3.
Oh, I totally missed the rope grab.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he just won it cleanly.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah, he grabbed on the ropes. Ricky Starks cheats to win the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Men's Final. So Starks heads down makes a fast getaway.
That makes more sense. Oh my gosh, that makes so much more sense.
He heads down the ramp, and he reaches Jushin Thunder Liger. The Japanese legend is there to present the trophy, and Starks just snatches the trophy from Liger, and Liger goes to shake his hand, but Starks is in such a hurry, he doesn't even shake Liger's hand.
Yeah, he's like already gone, almost.
And Starks kind of hoists the trophy for some applause and then leaves, and Liger is there shrugging his shoulders like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know? And that's how we go off the air. Now, I did see the beginning of Battle of the Belt 7, and the first couple minutes of Battle of the Belt 7, which were taped immediately after Collision, thank you. CM Punk and Friends is what I was thinking. And so there's streamers all over the place, all over the ring, from Ricky Starks' win, and CM Punk is sitting in the ring despondent, pretty pissed off that this guy just cheated to beat him, visibly pissed off, and that's where we are. Is Punk coming off a big loss to Ricky Starks, off a dirty loss, and a Japanese legend spurned by a cheater.
Do you think that this
But of course, Owen Hart, for some of his career, not most of it, but for some of his career, was quite a cheater himself. So that works.
Do you think this is the start of a Ricky Starks heel turn, or you think this is just a one-off cheating and then being rude to Thunder Liger?
I don't know. I don't know. You might have just I don't know. You might have just written it off if it were only for what he did in the match.
Mm-hmm.
But then, kind of dissing Jushin Thunder Liger
It's so weird.
That's a heel move.
Yeah, it was like shocking.
That's a heel move. It's a dick move, definitely. So yeah, I mean, you can be a face and cheat nowadays. It happens. It happens a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't be a face and diss Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yeah.
No, that's a heel move. So I don't know what they're doing with Starks. That'll be interesting to see. So, I asked you about Willow Nightingale. What does she get? Ring of Honor world title shot for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For her.
Well, not for sure, but pretty sure.
In our minds, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So Ricky Starks, what does this do for him? Does it get him some title shot, or what is this? Where's this put him?
Last year, Adam Cole won, and Adam Cole got a title shot like a year later. But that was, he was out for injury for most of that year, so that might be why it took so long. I think you're supposed to. Britt Baker didn't get anything for it. Like, I think it's just supposed to be the honor of getting to be the cup winner and honoring Owen Hart and his foundation, So I don't know that they necessarily need to get something. It's the same thing with the Dynamite Diamond ring. You don't get anything when you win that other than a weapon that you can then use in all your matches when you pull it out of your trunks secretly. But you don't get something with that, right?
I'm just saying it's a sign of a confidence.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a sign of
so you're saying
a
not,
push.
Not what is he guaranteed, but
right, what does he automatically get? But what do you see in his near future?
I see the IC, or I can't call it the IC, the international, thank you, title, possibly in his future. I see that more than I don't think he's ready for the AEW championship belt.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So I would see maybe him going after Orange Cassidy, which would make sense if he became a heel.
I could definitely see that. Yeah, Cassidy and Starks.
Mm-hmm. And I could easily see him winning it from Cassidy. I think that they have enough faith and confidence in him, and that he's a big enough star that that push would make sense,
I agree, yeah.
But this is another one that I was totally expecting CM Punk to win.
Yeah.
So out of the 4 matches, including a squash match, on AEW tonight, I only predicted one of them correctly, and that was the squash match, because that's super easy to predict. So all 3 of the other ones I was totally surprised by, which I love. I love when wrestling surprises me and I can't predict it. And so to have basically the whole card be like that, very exciting show for me.
I hear you. I agree. I'll be honest. Of the 4 matches, I got 2 right. I got the squash match and Willow Nightingale winning. Correct, and then I was wrong. I thought the Bullet Club were leaving with the tag belts. I thought CM Punk was a lock to win the tournament, so I was pretty shocked when Starks won.
Yeah. Well, we didn't even predict him to win his fight with Hobbs. We thought Hobbs was going to win.
I thought Hobbs was going to win. Yeah.
So Ricky Starks surprising us all around.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. So, what else? So we've got, let me ask you one more question.
Okay.
So we've got MJF right now. It looks like he's fighting Adam Cole at All In, maybe. It looks like they're setting up MJF versus Adam Cole for All In. They're going to have some sort of falling out over this tag team thing. And probably fight it All In. That's the popular guess at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Say they don't do that. Who should MJF defend the title against at All In?
You're putting me on the spot here.
Yeah.
Well, CM Punk's the easy answer.
Okay.
Because he had to relinquish the belt. And so,
Okay.
I mean, and he's a huge draw, so.
Okay. Is that your answer?
I mean, I guess that's my answer. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it would take a quick storyline, but it's also like the storyline is already built in. I mean, because he had to relinquish the belt, so you wouldn't have to do that much legwork to turn it around that quickly from MJF and Adam Cole focus to MJF and CM Punk focus.
Mm-hmm.
I want MJF to keep it though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want CM Punk to win it, and I think if they fought, that he would win it.
Well, but you're the booker.
I get to decide?
You're the booker, yeah.
Okay, well then CM Punk, and CM Punk's going to lose to MJF.
Wow. Yeah, that would be my answer too, CM Punk.
With him losing?
With him winning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with him winning. Yeah, I mean, that's the obvious way to go with CM Punk. For the very reasons you said. He's over, he's popular, he wants, the chance to lead the company. He's a huge star still, obviously, and he didn't lose the title. He was stripped of it. He still got his belt in his red bag,
his Santa sack.
He still got his belt in his Santa sack. So there's definitely an argument for CM Punk. Whether Adam Cole or feud exists or not, there's an argument to do MJF versus CM Punk. I mean, just money. I would argue, if you're just thinking money, do MJF and CM Punk and forget about Adam Cole. Do Adam Cole before All In. That would be my argument, personally. But I said, if we're not doing Adam Cole, who do you do? So we'll assume that they're doing Adam Cole, and
until we hear otherwise.
Yeah, I was just curious who you would put in there. So, but you would have Punk lose and extend MJF's reign, and I would have Punk win and I would kind of cash in and use his return to the company to try and boost things a little for us right now, and have a world title change at Wembley,
Yeah. Yeah, I want him to cheat to win MJF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be a big win. That'd be the biggest win of MJF's career. CM Punk at Wembley.
Yeah. Plus, since he already lost to CM Punk, it would be getting one over on him. Didn't he lose? He lost to CM Punk, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought so. Yeah, I mean, I just think I don't see a reason to take the belt off MJF, like, almost ever, but anytime soon. Like, he's such a great champion for all the right reasons. Like, I mean, and I also like having a heel champion, because then you got all the good guys trying to make an honest name out of the company by winning it from him,
Yeah, the chase.
Yeah.
But a lot of people always say, have heel champions because the chase is more fun than when you have the prize,
Yeah.
And a lot of people find babyface champions, boring. Because then you got it, now what do you do with it,
Yeah.
It's more fun to have a babyface, challenging for it and on the fight, on the road to it.
I would say I agree with that, except when I think about Orange Cassidy, because his championship run has been so fun and engaging, and it's made me like him and care about that belt, which I didn't think would necessarily happen, So, interesting.
All right. Well, I just wanted to give you a hot seat question there real quick. And folks, that is our show. Thank you for joining us, as always. Our collision reports are Sundays, Our Dynamite reports are Thursdays, and we've got stuff in between. You know, we always do WWE pay-per-view reports. We've got Ring of Honor coming up. This week, we're doing a Ring of Honor pay-per-view preview. At some point,
if they announce a card,
we'll do a pay-per-view preview.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you when that is because they've not announced a card, but we will do one if they announce a card. And we'll be doing a Ring of Honor results show, a review show. That will be up on the 22nd.
Is that the Saturday?
Which is a Saturday.
Yeah, because it's a Friday night pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It's a little odd, but I guess.
So yeah, our Ring of Honor report will be up on the Saturday, and then our Collision report will be up on Sunday, the 23rd. Yeah. So a bunch of wrestling coming, bunch of content coming from us this week.
Mm-hmm.
And check us out on YouTube. We have an All Elite Crate review on there, which I got this past week. AEW sends me stuff several times a year, and we get to check it out and see what they sent, and it's very fun, and there's neat stuff in there. Some of it is exclusive to the crate. What else? There's me searching for AEW trading cards. I'm trying to complete my set. So there's several AEW trading card videos on there. At least one more trading card video coming of me trying to complete the set. Let's see, what else?
You can check out.
There's more YouTube content coming as well.
You can also check out our friend Willie Does Wrestling on YouTube. We sometimes join him for his WWE watch-alongs on Mondays and Fridays for Raw and SmackDown. So you can check that out. Even if we're not there, you should check it out because it's a fun time to watch the show along with those guys.
And tonight we're joining Willie Does Wrestling for Hereditary, for a horror film review of the film Hereditary from 2018. So that should be interesting.
Awesome movie.
Yeah, fantastic, scary movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so check us out, listen to our podcast, subscribe where you can, rate us 5 stars, 5 bones, whatever they'll let you rate the highest, because that's how we find new listeners. And we find new listeners, we can all talk about wrestling together and get along together, and it'll be beautiful. That's it.
Also be sure to subscribe to Asa on Twitch at No Bones About Wrestling, because he's been twitching the crap out of AEW Fight Forever, and he is pretty good if I say so myself.
That's true, yeah. I've been playing a bunch of Fight Forever. Fun game to watch, I think.
You recently switched to the Elite difficulty, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I've been playing it on Elite difficulty.
Yeah,
so if you want to see somebody play it on a challenging difficulty, come check me out. Yeah. And that's it. And thanks, and have a nice day. Bye.